Get that. Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh, one of the elite wide receivers in fantasy football over the last 5 years, maybe the elite guy. But going to Oakland, I dropped him from wide receiver 2 to wide receiver 6. Hey, AB or Mr. Big Chest, you're still in the top 10, my friend, but here's the problem. He goes from Pittsburgh, averaged the most passing attempts per game last year. Oakland tied for 16th. Ben Roethlisberger to Derek Carr. There's a drop-off there, so AB now a second-round pick, where over the last 5 or 6 seasons, this guy has been a first-round selection.
Odell Beckham, also a part of that first-round discussion, obviously. How does the trade to Cleveland affect where you're putting him right now?
Yeah, he hasn't blocked me just yet. I didn't move him, okay? 5th wide receiver off the board for me in 2019. This is a guy that, since he came into the league in 2014, is 3rd in targets per game, not only among wide receivers, but among all players in the National Football League. And now he gets an upgraded quarterback with Baker Mayfield. I love this fit for OBJ, Cleveland Browns. Suddenly, the Cleveland Browns, Rhett, are super fantasy relevant. It's like we're in a fantasy world.
Yeah, I love it. So DeSean Jackson is now back home with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Tampa Bay Bucks situation didn't quite work out for him. What do you think it does for him to be back in Philly?
So I think it increases his value somewhat, but keep in mind, DeSean Jackson is a guy who basically gives you the same thing every year. 55 catches, around 800 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Where he makes the bigger impact is in improving Carson Wentz's fantasy value for 2019. So DeSean Jackson, a guy who will probably be drafted as a 4 in most fantasy leagues, maybe better in best ball formats, but he's really going to help Carson Wentz get back to that top 10 level among quarterbacks.
All right, I love it. Michael Fabiano giving us the latest on fantasy wideout value.